look, it's the art of the deal Tom Homan's way, right? So basically he went in there to de-escalate the situation. Obviously, we've seen the resistance, the ridiculous resistance by Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Fry against, basically supporting ICE and ensuring that ICE would have the resources they need to be able to take out and basically capture these criminal illegal aliens. And I think what you've seen with Tom Homan, it was not only de-escalation, but also the fact that he has met with every sheriff in each county. They're basically saying, look, you're going to release these criminal illegal aliens into the hands of the federal authorities. That is actually a very important win for the administration, because we've seen so much resistance and so many obstacles coming from these leftist governments. Now, obviously, as we know, Tom Homan was sent there because President Trump had to change his strategy once we saw these incidents with these individuals that were shot by these ICE agents.
I wonder if we're going to get Gregory Bovino's spicy tweets. Remember, his social media was taken away from him by the Trump administration. He is nowhere to be seen right now. So I do think, maybe someone's going to file a missing persons report for Bovino.
Well, the administration has found like 300,000 kids, so they'll be able to solve it.
They might find him, too.
To Marcy's point, I think it's a huge win, and call it the art of the deal, but what they basically did was get this locality to end their sanctuary city policy, right? Like the key, whenever I've interviewed Todd Lyons, ICE director, also DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, both have said this type of stuff would really simmer down if they were able to go to the jails and do, the jail transfers. You wouldn't have the protests on the street, the rioting, the violence from that side. You wouldn't have the ICE agents having to interact with them. And I think that, to another point, when we have them out on the street, that does make them a target. There's been all this talk about them wearing masks, these ICE agents. I also found out, some of their children have, they've been researched to the point where they find out what schools the children go to, right? So, I think that this is a huge, huge win. And also on the flip side, the lawyer in me is, I'm happy that they talked about putting more body cameras on agents. Yes. I think that's necessary. That's another flip side of this negotiation. And a lot of us have
What do you think of the masks, though? Do you think that's important?
Well, no. My point is when you have children and families being targeted, I understand not wanting to expose your face and you have a daughter. You don't want someone to come to your house. There's so many crazies out there, right?
But we don't wear masks on TV. It's kind of basic. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're not being targeted by people who are threatening to kill your family.
It's not like COVID when you had anchors and reporters wearing their masks on TV. But
like a bunch of idiots, but that's okay.
No, it's not like that. It's like left-wing radicals that have racked up a body count all across the country again and again, including in Minneapolis, threatening and doxing the federal law enforcement agents, and again finding their home addresses and where their kids go to school in order to menace and threaten their lives and their children's lives.
It's really not crazy, because you then have Don Lemon and the gang of idiots storming churches where they even think that the associate pastor might be involved with ICE. Having body cameras and still allowing them to wear masks, I think, is the best compromise, because it prevents people from being able to find these people. Remember, we've covered on this show how hotels in Minnesota were refusing to accommodate ICE agents. So what? They're supposed to sleep in cars while they're deporting these illegal immigrants. And just to take a step back, you saw there was the 5-year-old who was detained by ICE, and he was detained by ICE because his illegal immigrant father ran away. Now,
and his mother wouldn't take him into her house.
They abandoned him.
The abandoner father and this 5-year-old were reunited, and Democrats were celebrating this. And I don't remember which person, some border security hawk, said, look, this is so disingenuous for Democrats to celebrate this instance, which was complete misinformation from the beginning. When, again, during the Biden administration, Alejandro Mayorkas did not allow DNA tests for illegal immigrants at the border to try, so that the Border Patrol people would be able to figure out, okay, who is a victim of human trafficking versus who is actually here as a family. All of a sudden, this 5-year-old who's abandoned by his father is the latest cause celeb filled with misinformation.
Disingenuousness is one of the Democrats' most endearing qualities at this point.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.